Tonight on CKPG News, the deal has been finalized for Canfor to sell its tenure to the McLeod Lake Indian Band and the Tsay First Nation. Plus, discussions were had at the City Council meeting to revitalize the Spirit Table, offering supports to those in need in the downtown area. And the Community Arts Council has taken over operations of the PG Playhouse. Good evening, folks. I'm Eddie Huband, and welcome to CKPG News. We begin tonight in forestry. Canfor has been in the news quite a lot lately with two recent mill closures. But now the company has announced the completion of its forest tenure transfer in the Mackenzie timber supply area to the McLeod Lake Indian Band and the Tsay Dene Nation. Adam Burrows reports in tonight's top story.
Less than a week after announcing two sawmill closures in northern BC, Canfor has announced the completion of the subdivision and sale of its forest license in the Mackenzie timber supply area, equally to the McLeod Lake Indian Band and the Tsay Dene Nation. Mayor Joan Atkinson of the District of Mackenzie says that this is a major step forward for the region.
This is a huge step forward to our region and to the District of Mackenzie and those two Indigenous nations. As everyone is aware, Canfor closed their facility in Mackenzie, their processing facility, in July of 2019. So they have held on to that tenure for more than 5 years, but not one log was processed in this community.
In a news release, the McLeod Lake Indian Band says that the band will become one of the largest forest license holders in the Amanika region. The license will provide the band with rights to harvest over 437 cubic meters on an annual basis. Despite the good news, Mayor Atkinson says that there are still some uncertainties.
I was very happy to see that both nations mentioned Mackenzie and the communities that are supported by the forest industry in the Mackenzie timber supply area, including McLeod Lake Indian Band and Tsay Dene. This, of course, there are still some uncertainties. This is a vast amount of wood. We currently do not have the processing facilities in this community to process all that wood. So there will continue to be logs moving around the north.
Canfor says that this agreement will support improved fiber access in the timber supply area, and the total proceeds from the tenure sale and the assets of the Mackenzie sawmill are $69 million. Joan Atkinson also says that both McLeod Lake and Tsay Dene recognize the value of Mackenzie, which Canfor and the provincial government do not.
They recognize the value of Mackenzie, and that was not recognized by Canfor, and nor has it been recognized by the government of British Columbia. So it's a huge step forward.
Pattison Media is owned by the Jim Pattison Group, a majority shareholder in Canfor. Adam Burrows, CKPG News.
City Council has approved efforts to reinvigorate the Prince George Situation or Spirit Table. Adam Burrows reporting once again now on what the Spirit Table is and what the city is doing to help revitalize it.
The Prince George Situation or Spirit Table was launched in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, and the objectives of the Spirit Table are to improve well-being to those who are at an acute elevated risk in the community and to improve community safety.
We gathered all the institutions to analyze what's the reality on the ground and to see where is the best area that we can shoot our resources to have the maximum effect to make the community better.
However, because the Spirit Table was launched in the middle of a pandemic, delivery of the program was challenging to navigate, and it is not operating as effectively as it could be.
To solve a problem is to realize what we're facing here. And only by talking to various different groups and to see what's the problem they're facing, and they can coordinate together to set a pattern, to understand where is the problem original from, and where, and what age group, what type of help they need.
The Ministry of Public Safety approved a supplemental grant of approximately $30,000 to restart the Prince George Spirit Table so that the municipality and collaborative partners can connect with at-risk people in the community and support them by offering support services. Council approved to receive the funding, and the funds will be used to provide proper training and service delivery.
If we first establish some common goals and then to basically work out what is the first thing we need to do here. And of course, the key and most important is the spirit table. Through the face-to-face discussion, we need to build trust, because there's a finite resources. The problem is not getting smaller, and we have other needs.
While this funding will help with the reinvigoration of the Spirit Table, Mayor Yu says that there is still more that needs to be done, including engagement with community partners. Adam Burles, CKPG News.
One man has been arrested following a robbery in the heart at a liquor store. Prince George RCMP say it happened at around 10:30 this morning, where a suspect robbed a store on the 4300 block of Nordic Drive. A worker at the store says the suspect brandished a weapon, stole some liquor, and then took off. Police say they pursued the suspect on foot and arrested them with a taser within 15 minutes at a nearby convenience store. The suspect sustained a minor injury, but no one else was injured in the incident. The suspect is being held in custody until his first appearance in court. The gathering place at the College of New Caledonia was busy today, with a wellness fair and a recruitment fair happening at the same time. One of the prominent organizations looking for new recruits was the RCMP. And with students a mere week and a half into classes, now is a great time to think about their futures. Cheryl Jan reports.
Between curious onlookers to those with a genuine interest in a future career, it was a busy day at the college. The RCMP had a kiosk aimed at recruitment.
People are interested in how long the training is, what the salary and benefits are like, and where they might be posted if they join the RCMP, what kind of, things they can expect coming out of our training academy.
And the nature of the so-called new recruit has evolved over the years.
The average age of our recruit now is 29. So at 29, we find many of the people applying already have families, maybe mortgages, maybe a spouse that has a career as well that they need to take into account. So the RCMP has definitely been making a switch to taking more of that into their plan when they look at their crop of cadets and decide where they might go.
Rose Tomei is part of Oasis, an organization that helps new immigrants with a variety of services, from job placements to housing and everything in between.
And just to welcome here in this city and just to let them know that we love them, we are here for them, and if they need any help, they can connect with us, and we will try our best to help them and support them.
And her organization is expanding, with more people needed to run the growing number of programs.
Maybe in a way, like we need some help in certain areas, we are looking forward now to start our conversational classes. So maybe like some volunteers can like to join us or and things like that,
And while the RCMP is not looking for volunteers, it, like every other organization, is finding recruitment to be a challenge.
This year we're hoping to run 40 troops of 32 people through. That would be pretty much full for us, and that would represent really, really great numbers. So we keep coming out, but it has been a little bit difficult to find people that are willing to see the process through.
And as such, the National Police Force has had to loosen up the way they do business, given the evolving attitude toward careers.
So the RCMP has definitely been making a switch to taking more of that into their plan when they look at their crop of cadets and decide where they might go. BC is running a program right now. We've been running it for a couple of years, where if you're from BC and you want to come back to BC, we're guaranteeing that you'll be returned here. Can't guarantee what part of the province you'll be in, but at least you'll be in BC.
The detachment is also hosting a career presentation on Friday evening at the detachment, beginning at 6:30. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.
The first school board meeting of the year is taking place tonight, and Tommy Osborne brings us more now on some of the big discussion points and what we can expect will be talked about.
This is the first school board meeting of the year, and there are several big things to watch out for. One of them is picking up where we left off from last June's school board meeting, which is the 2025-26 5-year major capital plan. Alongside that, the school district will also be discussing some key financial details. Also, this year is year 3 of the 5-year strategic plan laid out by the school district 2 years ago. Among many goals in that strategic plan, one of them was to raise the literacy and numeracy of grade 10 students by 10%. However, this goal, not only was it not reached, literacy and numeracy actually fell in our grade 10 students last year. So a big talking point by the board will be, how do we get to those goals? How do we make sure our grade 10 students are where they need to be? How do we get that number back up? But in more positive news, The expected approval of Basketball 12 should take place tonight. Basketball 12 is a course designed to give students a chance to learn more about basketball both on the court and as a coach. So that should be awesome for the SD57 students who love basketball.
In other news, the Prince George Playhouse has been resurrected. The facility on Highway 16 has been sitting idle since late 2021 when the city put out a request for proposals to run the facility. Now, 3 years later, they have one as the Community Arts Council has taken over operations. Cheryl Jan has the story.
This is what the Prince George Playhouse looked like exactly 3 years ago. The city committed to $500,000 to repair the exterior cladding, which had been damaged by weather. At the time, the city was also looking for someone else to run it. And today, that someone else is the Community Arts Council.
Well, first of all, it's the only civic theater that Prince George has, and while it's long in the tooth and it's gone through quite a few physical challenges and management issues, it's what we have. And while we work with the city on developing and identifying what could be the plans for a new performing arts venue, this is what we have.
And to make the most of what they have, Shelby Richardson has been brought on board as the program manager.
We have a lot of comedy tours that are booked through the Playhouse as well. Dance performances, recitals, those types of things will be happening here at the Playhouse. We're also going to be doing a lot more workshopping and kind of community development, professional development for the arts community. So those types of events will be happening quite a bit.
The Community Arts Council joined the folks at Trinity United Church years ago to recreate the former Knox United Church into a performance centre, and the two will play off one another. In the meantime, Richardson and crew have been tinkering with the setup at the Playhouse.
Oh yeah, we are. We started with our first residency already with Giselle Liu up here doing a technical residency, playing with the lights and sound in the venue, seeing the different types of atmosphere and lighting effects that we can make with what's here in the theater, and kind of giving us a great education in the lighting design aspects.
Bringing the Prince George Playhouse back to its former glory will be another means by which the Arts Council can make a case for a larger downtown venue, something that has been talked about for years.
We're really invested in helping guide the city on what could happen within our downtown civic core as far as a new arts, entertainment, and sports facility tied into the civic center with enhanced conference space and trade show space as well. We've been advocating for that. We'll continue to advocate for that. But in the meanwhile, this is a tremendous civic asset.
So the first performance at the Prince George Playhouse in a very long time will be next week. Comedian John Doerr. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.
It's being billed as a partial solution to the frequent small-town hospital closures to hit the province in recent months. The new plan is to use a virtual doctor at the hospital in Hope to supplement medical staff on site. But not everybody's on board with the virtual shift.
Some patients stepping into Fraser Canyon Hospital are surprised to check in with the clerk remotely.
They had a lady on an iPad.
iPads may be used a lot more in the near future. A pilot is proposed at Hope's 10-bed community hospital, in which patients may soon see a virtual doctor for select services, leaving some skeptical.
How do you get hands-on? If you have an emergency or, life-threatening, then there's a doctor on virtual.
If you had a choice, what would you prefer?
I'd rather see the doctor in person.
Hope's mayor says he supports any effort to prevent ER closures, adding in the proposal there will still be a physician on site and the virtual doctor will complement that.
I think this is a big step forward. We only have so many doctors that go around, and we've had so many shutdowns in the province, so they're trying to look at new ways. We're pretty proud of Fraser Health and what they're doing.
Some nurses have expressed apprehension.
I can certainly understand why nurses would have some concerns, but at this time we understand that this is just an exploration, and there's nothing that leads me to believe that it's something that will actually come to fruition.
Fraser Health wouldn't make anyone available for an interview, so it's unclear how this plan came about, why this hospital was chosen, and when this will start. In an email, the site medical director says no decision has been made yet, and this does not replace or reduce their efforts to recruiting and retaining staff.
And now to your health. Brought to you by Hard Drugs, 3rd Avenue Pharmacy, and the Phoenix Pharmacy.
September is National Suicide Awareness Month, reminding all Canadians that they're not alone and help is always available.
We really believe accessibility is the most important thing. There are a lot of different crisis lines in BC and also in Canada, and any line is the right line. What's most important is that you connect to another human being to talk about suicide or what you might be feeling.
And with the implementation of the 988 hotline last November, the Crisis Center has seen double the call volume, up to 22,000 calls this year.
It doesn't mean that it's more prevalent, like thoughts of suicide or crisis is more prevalent. It just means it's more accessible to people who didn't know it was there.
Another role of Suicide Awareness Month is to destigmatize the conversation around suicide. Riley says the best way to do that is to talk openly about it.
With stigma of suicide, there's a general consensus that suicide is wrong and is bad. And when someone has internal ideations about suicide, it's hard to make those come to the surface when they know that people around them likely have a negative connotation around suicide. So it's hard to know how people will react. When we destigmatize it or have those conversations openly, we kind of encourage others around us to talk openly about suicide.
And for those who are Christian, destigmatizing discussions of suicide comes with the added baggage that it's historically considered a sin.
It's rooted in this notion that everything that is alive is somehow sacred, somehow wholly a gift from God. Therefore, to do anything that would harm life becomes sinful.
Reverend Fillier asks those to challenge that concept and create a dialogue.
So saying, hey, I'm having a really horrible day and I really don't see any way out of this or any hope for tomorrow, that's not a sign that you're sinful, that's a sign that you're human.
If you are having thoughts of suicide and need immediate help, call 988. Sam Bennison, CKPG News.
To Your Health. Brought to you by Hard Drugs, 3rd Avenue Pharmacy, and the Phoenix Pharmacy.
The lowest gas price in Prince George is sitting at $1.57.9 per liter at Costco. The lowest price in the province right now is in Vernon at $1.52.9 per liter. Manitoba has the lowest fuel prices on average in the country at $1.33.1 per liter, while BC has an average price of $1.69.2 per liter.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. For a very limited time, PG Domino's is offering 50% off all pizzas when you order online.
Inner City Boxing is sending 10 boxers to the BC Bronze Gloves Tournament in Chilliwack this weekend. And among those boxers is a 12-year-old who's made quite an impression after just months in the gym. Tommy Osborne has more on Audrey Edmonds, who hopes to make a name for herself in the ring.
12-year-old Audrey Edmonds has only been boxing for around 6 months, but she's already preparing to join the Inner City Boxing team for the BC Bronze Gloves Tournament. While she hasn't been in the ring long, her coaches say she already packs quite the punch.
When we started back early 2000s, there's an athlete here called Marina Mavros. She was Inner City's first national champion. And Audrey reminds me of Marina a lot. So, she follows in Marina's footsteps. She'll do great things as well.
Edmonds says boxing was supposed to be a temporary thing between basketball seasons, but she quickly fell in love with the sport.
I love all the challenges that come my way, and I love how fun and exciting it is.
Despite her young age and relative lack of experience, Lally is confident Edmonds has what it takes to be successful in the upcoming tournament. He credits that largely to Edmonds' unrelenting work ethic and toughness.
When we're getting ready for competitions, we need to do live actions. And so she is in there with these guys, toe to toe, staying in there. There's rounds, she comes out bloody and she's smiling, she's loving it. So it's great.
I'm really excited to prove to myself and my coaches what I'm capable of. I'm most excited about the experience and to have my very first fight.
Lally, alongside co-owner and fellow coach Jag Zira, explained Inner City Boxing under their tutelage has only been around since February, so this tournament is a big moment not only for Edmonds, but for all the other fighters and the Inner City Boxing Club itself.
This is huge for us because, this is the first time for Jag and I to actually showcase us as coaches. We're hoping we're doing the right thing. Our coaches, our athletes, they're cooking, they're ready to go. They're doing what we used to do. So, we're looking forward to it. And, we're hopefully bring back some champions.
BC Bronze Gloves will take place from September 13th to 15th in Chilliwack, where Edmonds, alongside her teammates, are looking forward to hopefully bringing back some belts. Tommy Osborne, CKPG News.
The TSX is down 24 points to close at 23,003. The Dow Jones is down 93 points to close at 40,737. And Canfor went up 41 cents to close at $14.49.
Good evening again. We are looking at potentially some more clouds as we get through some of our day tomorrow, but there is going to be some clearing coming our way later into the day, or especially the evening hours for Wednesday, and Thursday looks to be our sunniest of the next few days ahead. So here's the satellite map looking back. So again, lots of cloud cover moving in as a result of this upper level low. Futurecast shows that is spreading a lot of precipitation, at least in part, down through most of the south coast. But we're looking at this here to maybe bring us a scattered shower or two, but likely not for the next few days. We're watching a system that is expected to reach us on Friday night. Showers for Friday night and lots of Saturday as well. Could be a little wetter in the Prince George region, but otherwise it is going to be a mainly cloudy night tonight and morning tomorrow, but through the afternoon, some clearing. So 19 degrees for our day tomorrow, very similar to what we saw today, and then we'll bump that temperature up above that for Thursday. So Thursday looks to be the warmer of the next few days. 18 in Fort St. John with cloud cover. There's that upper level low swooping through the southern interior, bringing a few showers, a cooler temperature range for them at 18, and the same through Kelowna as well. Broadcast region looks nice and bright by the afternoon hours. 20 degrees in Quesnel for the afternoon tomorrow. A little bit more cloud cover in McBride, but sitting at 20, 19 Vanderhoof, Burns Lake, Fort St. James, all around 18 to 20 degrees is what we're seeing our region get to tomorrow. Will be a bit cloudier along the south coast. 18 the high in Vancouver, the same for Edmonton, and then throughout the prairies there's been some hot days the last few, especially in Regina and Winnipeg, but certainly tomorrow will be a little bit more comfortable in terms of temperatures. 24 Regina, clouds and a few sunny breaks expected. Further east looks good, 24 degrees in Montreal, and over towards Halifax, St. John's, nice and bright after a bit of a rainier start today. Sun cloud mix late into our week is really possible. As mentioned, we'll clear out starting late tomorrow. Thursday looks pretty good. Friday as well, but we're watching that system, as I mentioned, that may make its way in for Friday night and Saturday. Burns Lake, though, looking good, although overnight lows quite cool, down to +2 tonight, even colder than that tomorrow, but you're up to 19 and 20 degrees the next couple of days. Mackenzie, increase in cloud tonight. 5 will be the overnight low. It gets a little cooler tomorrow at +3, and tomorrow's daytime high not that warm either. 18 degrees with clouds expected. A little bit more sunshine in the mix for your Thursday, and then a drop down in temperatures again for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. McBride down to the freezing mark tonight. It will be a chilly one for sure overnight, up to 20 though tomorrow. Cloud cover for the most part, an overcast day for you, and then brighter on Thursday and Friday. So this is a system here that may be making its way in again Friday night, Saturday, bringing the temperatures down a little bit for the weekend going forward. The same for Quesnel, seeing that possibility of showers later into the afternoon and evening Friday, and going into your Saturday, and a drop in temperatures to 18, 5 overnight tonight, and up to 20 and 22 for the next few days. So for us in Prince George, a cooler one tonight and tomorrow at +4, 19 our high tomorrow. Again, a mainly cloudy start through the afternoon. Will start to clear out, and then Thursday looks really good, 21 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud for the most part. Friday as well, hanging on to some dry weather, although Friday night could be a bit of a shift.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. For a very limited time, PG Domino's is offering 50% off all pizzas when you order online.
Yesterday's Monday Night Football action showcased 2 teams with Super Bowl aspirations. And in tonight's CKP3 with Tommy Osborne, he brings you the best plays of the night from the gridiron.
Aaron Rodgers made his much-anticipated return after a year away due to injury.
They're going to get a free play. Rodgers is the master at it, and a touchdown by Lazard.
and he definitely showed he still got it, as this vintage dime to his good friend Alan Lazard got Rogers his first touchdown as a Jet. No one knows how to take advantage of an offside call better than Rogers, and the Jets have to be happy to see him back on the field. And the Niners stars also had a lot of fun last night.
Debo, jet sweep. He is in for the touchdown.
While it was a field goal heavy day for the Niners, that didn't stop Debo Samuel from getting on the board. He powers through the tackle on this jet sweep and somehow hangs onto the ball as he crosses the goal line, showing he's both shifty and strong. And even though the Niners were without Christian McCaffrey, they kept humming along.
2nd and goal, Mason bobbling it, but a touchdown.
The undrafted free agent Jordan Mason looked like Frank Gore back there, hitting the open hole strong and running over would-be tacklers. The Niners' run game was expected to take a big hit without superstar McCaffrey back there, but Mason made sure the Niners would impose their will all day in tonight's CKP3.
But that's all for tonight, folks. Thank you so much for joining us, as always. Caden Fanshawe up next with that Today Show, and Adam Burles at 6:30. That's a nice last look tonight. Lovely. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.